That smoke
Yeah.
bomb. But it does look like we will be getting into the knife round now for this first match. Hugh versus Team Shorty here on Cash.
It could be a very interesting matchup, although it seems for some reason the T's are doing some sort of weird strategy. In T-spawn, they're stabbing each other, which I haven't seen much of in professional play, but I'm sure there's some reason for it, right?
I'm going to assume they're just not particularly bothered. Having a bit of fun with it, which is what this is all about.
Yeah. Although if you want to look at a deeper way, this could be some sort of like psychological mind game. They want to choose T side, going to trick the enemies into thinking it's going to be an easier game than it is.
So it's like that old school spam, once you lose knife round, wanted T anyway.
And they do end up winning it. Well, no. The guys who didn't stab them each other, surprisingly enough, did end up winning it, and it's going to be exactly how it was expected. Team Shorty as T's and Hugh good name, as CTs.
Exactly. What are you thinking of the buys coming out here? Shorty actually picking up Jewel Beretta's interesting choice.
Is in the flashbang, yeah, he seems pretty relaxed in this entire game. I'm imagining he's going to play a pretty relaxed playstyle throughout it all. The CT, surprisingly, two of them went for, well, one of them went for nades and a flash, which is a bit surprising because you really do want that Kevlar in the first half, and it doesn't make much sense to use a nade on first round, but could be an interesting development. But they're gonna...
Oh, sorry.
Nah, no, go.
It does look like we're going to see the bomb coming over towards B site here. 4 players over in that area. Wardy holding off A main, making sure the CTs can't come through and suss them out. And it does look like we're going to see the push coming in. Jammy going to push in first. Sophie manages to take him down before he can get anything done. Lewis hits a headshot but can't quite finish Sick off. King going to also rotate in. That's 3 CTs on site now and 3 kills coming out from each of... Well, sorry, 1 kill coming out from each of them to make 3 total. That'll be 4. Wardy last left alive now.
The punishing position of the lurker ends up, you're going to be the last person alive. Let's see if you can actually get any picks so you can damage the CT economy for the first buy round. And she's dead. It's a very simple first round.
Well played first round from the CTs there, had that hold, got the rotating quick enough, knew what was happening.
Yep, and T's had a very good chance there. The man on mid, single man on mid, had no armor that entire round, so it looked like he could have been abused to open up a position in mid and take control of the entire map. But they didn't abuse that, pushed straight into a hold and ended up losing the round. So it was a good round by Hugh and Team Shorty ended up losing it.
Exactly. We are going to see a pistol armor buy coming out from Team Shorty here. And they're just going to go for that straight rush onto A site. Shorty got him first with Jewel Berettas, can't get anything done. Puffing taking him down. Savage are going to find Wardy, but Jammy James trying to get something back. Puffing's going to try and do something more. Jammy James getting a second in the round and the bomb down. That's going to be a huge benefit to the T's here. And the round's going to slow right down as it does become all about stopping the CTs. Retaking Itsy Brew, Squizzy, or whatever. Going to do a great job of stopping that defuse coming in, picking up 2 in the afterplant. Just him left now, 1 versus 1 with Sophie.
He's not got much health though, but the guy's got the kit. Oh,
Sophie's going to spot him out. Sophie's going to spot him out, going up onto red. He's just going to run away. He knows that Sophie has to go for that defuse, and it looks like that's going to be coming in now. Can they make it?
Ooh, that'll be it. It's not enough time now, I think, for the defuse.
Well, Sophie showing real balls there, trying to go for that defuse, even as they know Squizzy will be on that site looking for them. Not going to work out, and that will actually be the second round going to Team Shorty to equalise the score at 1-1.
That was a very interesting play by them. All of them with Techman and Armor rushing through Squeaky there, just to try and catch them off guard and overwhelm the CTs, and it worked. The rotations weren't quick enough, and they were easily able to take the site. Got a bit close at the end there, but they ended up winning the round.
They did. We're just going to see the same sort of thing coming out from the CTs this round with pistol armor picked up on most. Not going to be particularly effective, as we are going to see Louis come straight through, taking the head off Puffing. Savage are there to try and get something done, but ultimately unable to stop the push coming in. That's going to be, I was about to say 4 CTs left, but Sophie's going to cut that down to 3, giving, well, sorry, I mean T's, giving them a bit more of a chance into this game. Perception and Louis going to make sure that does not happen though.
Yeah, it's too easily closed down there at the end. The CTs couldn't get any advantageous positions, and the rotates yet again seemed a bit too slow. They didn't rotate very quickly after the bomb was spotted. And yeah, they just weren't able to hit their shots, and that force buy ends up not working, so they'll most likely have to eco for the next 2 rounds. It seems quite peculiar. The CTs are pushing B alone. All of them on this eco are just rushing B. That's kind of the idea as a stack, but it seems like the T's have a favouring towards the A site, which is it's kind of peculiar if you don't think that they go A site every round so far. And it looks like it's going to work out for them this round, as there is no CTs on this site. And Puffing gets immediately killed, and A-site's taken quite easily. Sick manages to save an AK, but the 3 P90s are going to be able to shred through these last few CTs if they try and push. And this will be yet again, most likely another round for the CTs, or Ts, sorry.
Yeah, I mean, fairly interesting round. CT's choosing to stack that B site there. I guess that is where it comes down to the mind games more than anything, trying to predict where they might be going, especially on such a heavy stack. Obviously, pushing one through very early in the round, going to give them that little bit of information that does let them go in and get a few kills. Actually allowing Sick to pick up an AK and save it. Going to, one, take that out of the terrorist hands and give the CTs a slightly stronger bite in this next round if they choose to, or potentially give them just anything to work with, really, to try and damage the economy of that T side even more. But it does look like we'll be seeing the buy come in from Hugh here.
As you can see, the money on the T side isn't that bad because of those few rounds without a lot of losses. But the CTs are going to be able to buy up, no armor on most of the heads, even though 3 players are still holding on to those P90s on the T side. So this could end up causing a few problems depending on where they're going to push. And it looks like they're going to go straight for A yet again, which is a bit peculiar play. You think the CTs would have figured this out by now. And CTs are pushing straight into A main, it's a perfect pop flash, and it's a 1-for-1 trade. This is benefiting the T's here. So Puffing's going to have to hold off this push from 2 players, 1 from Squeaky and 2 from A main. But there's the rotations yet again from the CTs are exceptionally slow. 1 coming up highway, 1 6 Z connector, even though you can already call the rotation of site. And that's a site loss. It's that simple. 2 players dead. And the T's taking control of the site. It's a 3-on-2. And the remaining CTs have no position to come from. They're both looking to come up highway and try and do a retake. But at this point, I would personally say that it's too late. They waited too long. They didn't rotate fast enough. And this most likely be the end of the round.
I mean, there's always going to be a chance in it for the CTs here. Some of the T's quite low. Sophie trying to get it done. Jammy James going to make sure that can't happen, though, taking Sophie out. 6 CS, last left alive. Now knows what he has to do. Finds 1. Jammy James, last left alive on 9 points of health. It's not looking good for him.
He can just play the sword. If he can do this properly and he can stop the defuse, this could just be the end of the round. He needs to play this smart right here, but looks like it's too late. Yeah, Six gonna have to run away with that. It was great play from Jammy. He knew how little health he had, and he had to just play for time, and it was an exceptional play from him.
I mean, Sick going to find those couple of kills and save an AK, but really not able to do enough for them to get that round, as James, as you said, would just be playing out in that squeaky corner, hiding from the bullets.
And it looks peculiar, as once again, the CTs are going to have to try and semi-force up, have a quasi-buy here. King is going to have no armor playing mid, which is a bit peculiar, but they do have 2 mid players now. And this is the first round. These Ts are going to go towards B, try and make a play. The CTs are being a bit aggressive, and the ETs have made up a setup just perfectly to counter that, waiting for the CTs to push through.
Either, and it does look like we're going to see the T's trying to go for a B push here. Only 1 player on that site. I mean, it's quite common to see somebody angering, but on an eco round, it really won't be enough to stop them if they do decide to go there. King going to be playing close up in mid, and he's going to find Lewis immediately, pushing through to find that gun. Probably essential for him to fall back here. And it looks like that's exactly what he's wanting to do, as Squizzy picks up Savager as well, making it a 3 versus 4. We are going to see 2 AKs sitting on that CT side this round, though, giving a slightly more of an advantage to the CTs, or slightly less of a disadvantage, depending on how you look at it. Shorty going to pick up King, dropping 1 of those, though, leaving just Puffing and 6 CS in the round. Both going to be over towards that A site, though, which is where the bomb is headed at the moment. If they don't notice Puffing quad, they could be in trouble.
They're going to Molotov and nade him out. That's going to be very difficult for him to survive. But he does get the frag, and it ends up being a 2v2. This could be very interesting. And they have the bomb, so this could end up... Oh, he spots him. And then now 2v1. That's an exceptional play for Puffing, just waiting for the enemies to push. But now 1v1, they're both lit. Puffing doesn't have the weapon of choice. He doesn't realize he's directly above. This is crazy, and he ends up getting the kill. That's great play from Puffing. Very passive play. Ends up winning the round purely just on letting the enemies run into him. So very good work by him. And they win that force buy.
Really just unfortunate for Team.shorty there. Deciding to push that wrong site in the last few seconds of the round, running into the double stack and losing to them surprisingly. I think it was a 4 versus 2, and they managed to give it away a little bit.
It didn't look like they really scouted towards B at all. They pushed into Sunroom and they just kind of waited to see if anyone pushed them back. They didn't really try and put any pressure on, but in this round it's going to be another buy from the T's, or a first buy, but Puffing with the op here is a very good chance to try and tear them apart. The bomb's going to drop, this is exceptional, but he gets team flash and forced into checkers, so this could go either way right now, but Puffing's holding down the team main halls.
As you say, we are going to see that pistol push coming in towards that B site. Going to see Puffing doing a great job with that AWP, picking up a couple with that and one with the pistol. I think 6CS doing work as well, picking up the remaining 2 in the round. That's going to give Hugh another round, bringing them one closer to equalizing with Team Shorty.
And it was quite an easy round for the CTs. It looked a bit troubling there when Puffing was alone. Again, this is one of my criticisms of this team. I don't think they rotate quick enough. We'll see that later in the game as well. But Puffing managed to hold on there, and the T's didn't apply enough pressure fast enough. Maybe because of the lack of grenades.
Looking like Puffing's going to go for an aggressive push into A main here. Wardy in there already, but Puffing doesn't know. He's going to be focused on the other player. Wardy going to find him very quickly with that AK, giving an advantage to the T's early in this round.
It was a bit aggressive, and you didn't quite get the flick, so it was just kind of bad luck and bad timing, not being able to realize he was there. But the T's are trying to rotate back off of the A site. There are now 3 players now playing towards the A site, 1 in highway, 2 on the site. But the T's are in mid, in garage. Looks like they're going to set up for a mid play. So this could be an interesting round.
See there, and we're going to see Bomb going over towards B. Again, that site only with 1 player on it. Viperio are going to see if he can find a kill there. He's going to get full flash, can't get the kill, but does manage to get out with his life as his team come in to take out Sophie and secure the site for themselves. And we are going to see Bomb going down here. All 5 T's left alive here. 1 on A site, ready to come in from the back. That's going to be Wardy finding that AWP.
Oh, 1 player made it into headshot, but the looks like the CT push has been completely annihilated by the T's with a good defensive setup. But so it's just Savager left, and he ends up being dropped. Good round from the T's, and they will take a 5-3 lead, which is quite surprising on a CT-sided map.
Yeah, on cash. I mean, a lot of it will come down to the fact they won that second round and just managed to put a huge dent in the CT economy very quickly, giving them a few free rounds. Apart from that, just generally fairly good play coming out from both sides, and I wouldn't be surprised to see it get a bit closer here as the game does progress.
Both sides aren't very good on money, but we'll see in this round where it goes. If the T's win this, they could end up getting a lot more money and having a good economy further on into the round, as the CTs will most likely have to eco after this. So,
Shorty going to be pushing into Squeaky there. Savage are going to find him, well, going to see him, but not find him, sorry. Jammy James picking up King in mid as well. That's going to be 2 dropped for the CTs. Only 1 down on the T side. This is going to give them an absolute, well, an easy round it should be. Lewis going to find Sophie as well, giving them an even bigger advantage, and it is just 2 CTs left on A site. And that's been communicated. Shorty going to be heading over towards B with the bomb to get it down. Playing it safe here is Team Shorty.
Yeah, it's good work by the T's this round. They scouted out that opposite site to make sure it was clear rather than just pushing onto the A site where the last 2 CTs were. So that was a smart play by them to make sure that they could easily get the bomb planted, and it will most likely be a confirmed round for the T side, but we'll have to wait and see. 6CS could pull out something conveniently sick.
Not gonna happen though.
Yeah, Lees was waiting for him, so that ended up being the end of that round. And it looks like their economy is torn to shreds. They most likely eco here, unless they're doing some sort of envious force buy, but I doubt it. Yeah, it looks like it's just going to be a full eco. Few weapons, few pistols, that's all. So this should be a good start for the T side economy to bolster, as now they have a few rounds where they can just clean house unless something very, very surprising appears. But Jammy James does end up getting the first pick on 6CS, and it looks like the mid has been opened by the T's. But again, King comes back from the fight, but it loses it, and now mid is completely controlled by the T's, but they push off of it. Jammy James is very low, so he's just trying to preserve his op. And it looks like they're going to be making a play towards the A site. Puffing is rotating very slowly once again, and it looks like it's just going to be up to Savager with his USPS alone on A site to try and hold off this.
Can't really pull things easily, and Shorty is going to push quickly onto that site. Savager unable to stop him, but Puffing doing everything he can. It's going to be interesting to see what he can get done here with that Deagle from Truck, and that's going to be, well, he's going to get something done, picking up Shorty before being dropped by Jammy James there to finish off the round. Taking one more gun out of the T's hands for very minimal investment. Not a bad job at all.
and that will yet again dent the T economy. But if you can see at the side, they have quite a lot of money. Jamie James is on 8k, Louise is on almost 5, but this will be a full buy out of the CTs now. King on mid, once again doesn't have Kevlar going at a glass cannon, and he does get picked off by Jamie James, but they have 2 others in mid, one at Vents and one at Sugar Cube, now going to Z, so we'll see if they can win this round from this situation they've got themselves in.
Indeed, we're going to see Squizzy pushing into mid, picking up 1. 2 other CTs already been dropped in this round, only 2 remaining now, and it looks like we're going to see a similar thing to what has been happening already in this game once again, with a couple of CTs left and going down. Actually a clean round from the Ts here, not something you necessarily expect to happen on a full buy with, I think, 4 M4s and an AWP there.
Yeah.
So very, very well played from Team Shorty. That's going to put them on 8 rounds to 3. Hugh needing to do something very soon if they want to contend.
Yeah, in the big rounds it seems like the T side are just out-aiming them in almost all circumstances, which ends up making it very difficult in a mixed tournament especially, because they can't really create any detailed, complex strategies. They have to just base themselves on aim and some scrimmy strats, but we'll have to wait and see. It might be more beneficial on the T side, so we could see a comeback. Very possible.
I would say you're right there in the fact that the strategy's not there. Although the strategy from the CT seems to have paid off that round, with 6CS playing a sort of lurk position, baiting out a couple of his teammates, but managing to pick up 2 frags for his troubles. Tries to save that AWP, but in the end will not be able to. The T's going to recover it and leave that round with 3 players.
And this looks like it's going to be one of the first rounds where the CTs can full buy with Kevlar and nades, which could be a very interesting round once again. Let's see what they do in the mid, because it seems like for Cash right now, mid is a very important device. You need mids to take control of vents, of highway, of connectors. Very important. But the CTs are just going to straight out smoke it off, and they're going to have 2 players watching it.
Exactly that. We're going to see actually 3 players in mid early in the round. Rotating obviously between mid and A, just trying to make sure they can deny the T's mid control once again. Wardy going to find a bit of A site control there with a kill on Savage through the smoke, and Louis actually managing to get out into mid, also using that as a distraction. He's going to see absolutely everyone he needs to at this point. Jamie James finding Sophie as well on B site, and Louis there just to cut off the rotates through highway. They know that CT is going to potentially be a problem, but I think they're going to have that smoked already, and they're going to be ready for all circumstances.
King does get the first frag on the site, and 6CS gets the second, but there's Louis pushed up highway already, and it is going to be a very interesting round. Looks like the CTs have already brought it back, but they're both on A while the bomb's going towards the B site. This was a very clever fake from the T side. Although it lost 2 of their players, it does allow them to plant the bomb, but they're not favoured in the health. Jamie James has got 12 HP, but he is in a kind of sneaky position, while the 2 CTs push up, most likely for the retake.
And Jamie James will find one of them. He'll spot both of them, I think, trying to push through there. And that call will go out to Squizzy, who's going to be playing that position with York, just watching Arthur. He'll find one. Can he find the second one? He's going to see him going onto site. Not quite able to hit the shot yet, but they know where he is. Both players very close to site, and Squizzy will finish the round off with that Tech 9, making it 10-3 to Team Shorty on the T side.
Yeah, it was a very clever play to make those 2 players fake towards the A site to make sure that they didn't rotate off and that they could take the B site. That was very smart from them, but you'll see that the T side economy now, because of the last few rounds won, and the fact that they haven't lost that many players in the last few rounds, is insane. It's too much money for them, and Shorty's on 15k, and he's still got an auto shotty. So that's very strange to use it on the T side, but we'll have to see what happens.
Yeah, right, Jamie James and Louis going to start the round off with a couple of frags there. Wardy picking one up as well. That's going to drop the CTs down to 2 players left live, both actually on B, trying to get that rotate in. And once again, I think, as you say, a bit of a slow rotate coming through. Puffing showing that sometimes slow and steady is better, though, as he picks up Jamie James over by Zed.
Yep, and it looks like they're most likely saving this round if they can. Although no, it's a 2-on-3 now. They could go for the push on the site, but Shorty is waiting out with the auto sniper. I called it the auto shot earlier, I just realised. But yep, he does pick him off, and now it's a 1v3, very difficult puffing, and he gets dinked immediately, and that'll be the end of the rounds. Very good aim, very good play from the T side. They're just pushing straight through and getting the frags. That's basically as simple as it gets in this kind of scenario.
I mean, I think a little bit of BM coming out from Shorty. We did see him pick up the Negev 1 round and the auto sniper the next. Maybe trying to put them on tilt before next half. If they're not already there, I would be surprised, as the scoreline does currently sit at 3-11. Without this round, They are within 3 rounds of it being match point, and that will be completely awful for them.
But this looks like an interesting play. They've once again got 3 men, but they're very close to the smoke. Oh, but 8 hours, Sophie gets immediately picked off, but Louise is refragged back by 6CS. Puffin gets a frag on B, and they've taken the entirety of the B site so they can rotate back over to A. And it looks like that's where the T side push is going to come in. They're setting up for it, Molotoving fence, NPK, and all those positions. But Shorty gets the frag through the wall on the guy saying NDK, and that's going to leave the site kind of undefended. There's only 2 players now, 2-3 for the CTs, and they're not in great positions to try and defend the site as now Puffin is taken down. He's just king. He gets a frag on the bomb, but it doesn't look like he's going to be able to keep hold of it, as he's got 2 players on both sides, one in front of Squeaky and one on the actual site.
And he's just going to be playing for. He's going to be playing with everything to play for at this point. 5 points of health, and he finds 1. Can he find Shorty in Squeaky with that auto sniper now? Shorty actually pushed out onto A site. I'm sorry for the miscall. He will not be able to do anything about it. Obviously, brilliant play coming out from King there. Beautiful kill, but 5 points of health just not enough to get anything done.
Yeah, and it was a very interesting half. It kind of shows how in pugs and in mixers it can be very beneficial to start out on the T side, as it can give you the advantage to have a bit more of a scrimmy play, as I said earlier, to allow you to be a bit more loose and dynamic in the way you want to move around. We'll have to see how Team Shorty deals with the CT side and how they set up, and if they can keep up this high quality and high standard throughout the rest of the game.
Well, I mean, that is one of the key things in this sort of puggy situation. Communication not always going to be the best that it can be, and I think T-side play really lends itself to that a little bit more, especially if you are just relying on pure aim to get the frags. Everybody can do their own thing. CT side is going to require a lot more cooperation. It'll be interesting to see if Team Shorty are going to have that.
But Team Shorty peeks out and sees all of the players in B halls, and that's going to be an easy take by the T side, and this is very worrying for the CTs, because they've already lost this site, and all of the Ts have taken this B site. I just repeated what I said, but it looks like it's going to be an easy round for the Ts, and it just shows that scrimmy strats really do kind of help the T side.
I think that's going to be 4 players and 5 coming in without Hugh losing a single player. It's going to be a clean round from them for their pistol. It'll be interesting to see if they can continue, well, that sort of dominance throughout the rest of the half. But that's a good start nonetheless. If they had lost that, they'd be in dire straits.
And it looks like the T-side are going to get ready for a force buy, which is exactly what the CTs are doing. So they're buying AKs and Galils with an NT7. That's the kind of buy you'd get if you expect the enemies to buy a Kevlar helmet, which is it's a new thing in the meta. It came out. It's been more current now as the SMGs are more overpowered, that you can start armoring on the second round. And Louise gets an incredible jumping frag with 5-7 on mid. See if he's able to retrieve that weapon.
Dammy James going to push up with the P250, finding one. Wardy finding the other. Savage going to be peeking round, trying to find either of them, and he will not be able to do it. And that's just 2 Ts left, being encroached upon from both sides by the CTs. Just hungry for those frags at the moment. Squizzy going to find one. They know where the last guy is now, and Louis going to pick him up with an AK headshot. And that's actually going to be 4 rifles going into the CT's hands on that second round win.
So that was a completely failed round from the Ts. They ended up almost role reversing, defending the T spawn as they spread out too far for pistol players. Like they didn't clump together, they didn't play two-man teams to try and get refrags. The man on mid immediately died, and they just kind of huddled up back in T spawn and lost a round.
And potentially just trying to go for those long-range engagements to make their lives a little bit easier. Louis not going to be doing the same thing though, pushing up close in mid, finding 2, not able to get the 3rd, unfortunately for him. Puffin going to end his life, leaving 3 Ts left against 4 CTs. It'll be interesting to see what they can get done here, as 2 more CTs are pushing him from that A site. Puffin's going to find 1. Will they know the second's there? Puffin playing very, very carefully. It feels like he's suspicious at this point.
Yeah, it's very peculiar that they continue pushing as the T side. It seems like they can't quite get out of the idea that they're on the T side. They still think that they're on CT side, but it could end up benefiting them in this scenario if the A player can somehow find a position to move in and say that the A site, there's no one preparing for it, because it looks like the Ts are going to be playing towards B, and they're going to try and make a play for that. So if the A player could try and rotate quickly, this would be very beneficial to the B players, to make sure they know that no one's around. But sure, he's going to peek out with Mag 7, he gets a frag on the bomb, but he can't get the second one, and Wardy will most likely be trying to rotate very quickly right now, but he might get cut off by Sophie here, and he ends up getting the frag, and now it's a 2v1. Puffing's got the bomb, he's got lots of time, so he needs to just make the most of it. Gets the first frag, and he's going to try and plant the bomb now. It's Wardy and Puffing in a 1v1. Puffing has no head armor, so actually it doesn't matter because they both got AKs, and he's a bit more lit than Wardy. So let's see how this ends up.
Puffing gonna spot Wardy out up there. Gonna actually spam through the platform a little bit, taking Wardy down to 33 health, putting the advantage in his hands, and he will finish him off, giving Hugh their 5th round in the game, 2nd in the half. Just looking like it's going to be back and forth for the next few rounds, and the economies will show that. The T's really not able to go for a proper full buy here. Going to see a couple of AKs come out, but ultimately, 2 really just going to be relying on those Tech 9s, and the CT's going to be on similar money for all of their players. Actually going for a very aggressive push there. Puffing going to end Lewis as a result, but not able to pick up. I think that was... Oh, sorry, no, it wasn't. I'm incorrect. Not able to pick up Wardy as a result. Jamie James going to go down on that A site, though. Yeah,
it was exceptional play. I just want to talk about the last round while they're pushing onto this site, because it does look like the CTs are completely out of position and won't be able to make anything of this. As they, some of them forced, some of them didn't. It's a bit of an uncoordinated buy, and Wardy's position wasn't really utilized when the T's were pushing onto A site, so it ended up not being very beneficial to be there at all. But the reason the T's buy was so weak this round was because last round was actually an ace by Puffing. Like, exceptional individual play, 1v2, possibly even 1v3, I can't remember exactly. But he just held that round on his own. Exceptional skill and talent just to be able to do that in a tournament like this. And just the nerve you have to be able to do something like that.
The CT is going to be going for the exit frags here, I think, as the game will end. Oh, Shorty playing behind that van, looking to see if he can get something done, and it doesn't look like he will. His 2 teammates trying to rotate in and help out, but ultimately, one going to lose his life. Might be worth it though, as Wardy does find 2 in the final 2 seconds, I think.
And we're going to see a pause here?
We are going to see a pause here coming out from Hugh Arse. And I think that will be a technical pause, as player Sick will be leaving the server, and Savage also.
Yeah, it's so we can use this time most likely to talk about the last few rounds and the way the CTs and Ts have been playing, because the CTs have been very peculiar on mid. As I was saying before, but I messed up my words, they seem to forget that they're on the CT side. They're constantly being aggressive, and sometimes that's beneficial, but you're losing your advantage as a CT to just hide and wait for the enemies to come to you. So it doesn't make sense for them to continuously push mid every single round and then not do anything from it. So
I was going to end the pause prematurely there, meaning that the T's only have 4 players coming into this round, trying to start it back up again, but unable to. Going to be very, very tough for them now. Maybe giving the CTs an unnecessary advantage to get back into the game. Puffing going to be up on that boost spot, playing to try and find both players in mid's going to be Wardy and Lewis, but I think just a matter of timing will end up missing them.
this does end up becoming a 3v3 even with the missing player, and a 3v2 as Puffing takes out 2 on the mid. He's been 11-1 in his second half. He's had 1 death and 11 kills. But it looks like they're going to make a play towards the A site. It's most likely going to be a 1A, 1B strategy from the remaining CTs. Although they are on full health, and Puffing and King are on red health. Sophie's the only one with full health who's going to push up first, but end up dying. So it's 15 HP, now only 4 HP for all the Ts. And it ends up being a 1-on-1 again for Puffing with the bomb. This could be very interesting to see if he can clutch it. He does have the time to go to B, so it looks like he's going to do some psychology mind games to see if he can confuse the enemy, the last player on the CT side.
Puffing just going to be playing a very slow game here, just wanting to hold one angle, see if he can get that headshot if Squizzy does choose to push that particular way. Unfortunately for Puffing, Squizzy will be coming up from highway in this situation.
The nerve you need to just be able to sit in this corner for 30 seconds waiting for noise. It seems like he's convinced he's from A main, which could end up being his downfall, but no, he's not unsure, slowly moving. And it looks like he's going to have to plant on the A site now. This would be a perfect opportunity for when Squizzy hears the bomb plant to just go and try and kill him, because the last player's only on 4 HP.
And Squizzy will hear the plant go down, but unable to do anything about it. Going to be watching the wrong side of the box as Puffing pushes out, but Puffing just turning towards A main at the last moment there. Going to find himself dead.
Yep, and that will be another round for the CT side. It's getting dangerously close to a match point, and that could be very worrying for the Ts as they don't really have enough money to buy this round, but they're going to anyway. They're going to force, or quasi-buy, semi-force, but the CTs are in a good position now to be able to try and win this round because of the lack of money on 6CS specifically because of his disconnect that last round.
He's going to be going for, I think, some would call him Eastern European by going for some pistols, some AKs, trying to see what they can get done. The CT's not in much of a better situation economically, as we are still going to see Shorty only on that Deagle. But obviously, slight advantages can mean everything in this game.
Yeah, and it looks like he's already been taken down to 41 HP purely just from nades, and King ends up taking out the other player on B, so Shorty's alone. He's got the weakest weapon on the entire CT side, and he could end up being overrun here. But it looks like the bomb is in B connector, so it looks like they are going to progress towards B. Or no, they're actually heading back towards A. It's difficult to say because they've got control of the mid, so they could really go anywhere they want now, as it is a 1-1. If they knew the kind of weapon that Shorty has, they would just be able to take the B side much easier, but it looks like it's just going to be a clean sweep from the T's anyway, as they end up taking out both players without even having to plant the bomb. So, you know, very good fragging by the T side.
Kills coming in all around from Hugh. Both of them, I mean, it doesn't sound great, but within 7 rounds of the CTs here, it really doesn't sound great, but it's one of the better ones they've had all game. And actually going to force the CTs onto an eco here, giving them at least a small chance of getting back into the game. We are going to see the CTs just going for a full rush B. King going to be expecting it though. Watching for all of them, going to whiff his spray on the remaining 4 after picking up Squizzy for the first. Going to find 2 in 1 though. And a fourth on Shorty, just Louis left, going to find him and a free AK. Maybe worth saving it at this point in a 1v4 after plant situation.
But see, the CTs, well, never mind, but I was going to say that the CTs could do something that Envious sometimes do, is when they have a lot of time after, and they've got the entire site, they know where the last player is, they just wait, so they can make the most amount of time out of the round. They wait to plant the bomb so they can go hunting, but it looks like they're just going to plant the bomb as per standards, and it looks like Luis is just going to hide in the smoke here and try and save this.
Yeah, Louis just really not wanting to give it away, but he will extend just slightly out of that smoke. Maybe trying to get some vision on the map there, and will fall to Savager. Meaning that the CTs do not even have an AK going into this round. It looks like they might actually have to double save here a little bit, as none of them seem to have the money to buy up those rifles. Yeah, it seemed like a very uncoordinated buy yet again last round, as one player had armor helmet and a 5.7, and the rest of them only had pistols, so it ends up being that their economy is pretty screwed up for this round, so they're going to have to do something a bit drastic, as an A-stack, for example. That would be a drastic thing to do right now. I mean, last round of B-stack, this round an A-stack, and they're going to continue that aggression. 2 pushing through Squeaky. Sophie trying to find both, but he can't. Shorty going to pick up 1 for his troubles. But again, once again, the T's are going to know exactly where to go with this bomb, heading over to B site now, and none of the CTs prepared for any of it.
Yeah, this is something the Team.shorty didn't do, as I said on one of the rounds, is they didn't scout out enough in the opposite bomb site to try and clear them, and make sure that the site they're going to is well defended, badly defended, etc. So this is a good play from the T's, and as pointed out, this could be a specific comeback due to the scriptness of the next tournament. But it ends up being that the CTs are all dead except from Shorty, who manages to recover that AK and is most likely going to save, although he seems a bit confused. And the players will probably go hunting for him, or at least trying to run the bomb.
Yeah, I mean, the T economy not looking great at the moment, so that hunt might not be advised, especially as Shorty does have the AK. And despite the 14 points of health, he's on 1 headshot, would finish any of them off. I mean, once again, just sort of interesting play from Team.shorty there. Obviously, an eco, just fully stack a site. I think that aggression, though, when you stack a site, is slightly unnecessary. I mean, it can gain you information if there's nobody there, but if people are there, it will just prompt them to go the other way, and fairly quickly at that.
Yeah, the hope is usually like, it's just a theoretical idea, but the hope is that the T's are going to just try and Rambo rush, just go straight in, push without really thinking, which of course is not what people really do nowadays. So I agree with you, it usually would make more sense if you're going to do something like that on an eco round, to have maybe 4 players on one side, 1 on the other, to call if there's a push, but ended up not working out either way for the CTs.
Anyway, we're going to see Squizzy dropping early in the round, giving the advantage over to the CT side. Louis trying to do something from that B site, managing to take, I think 88 points of health off one of them there. Not able to do more than that though, and Sophie also going to find 1 for himself or herself. That's going to leave it in a 4v2 now, actually, as Sophie is dropped afterwards by, I think, Jammy James on that A site.
Yeah, and it was Wardy, but it looks like they're just going to save here anyway. This is I was calling that the CTs aren't really rotating fast as they should, but it looks like they are. It might just be one of the things that people quite a lot talk about FM Pones maps like Cache and Season is that the CT rotation times are actually really long compared to other maps in the active map pool. So it could actually just be a cause of the map, or it could be a choice of the CTs to try and be more stoic on their sites and wait and make sure that no one's coming their way.
I mean, you can see that, but I think it is also just the way the game's played. Obviously, if you have two players defend the B site and they manage to get one kill between them, if you're holding that A site, you're not entirely sure what's coming through. If you've not seen the bomb yet, you might just want to wait it out and see what you can do. The rotate, obviously, as you said, is going to be a long one and a dangerous one.
Yeah, and it looks like this round it's going to be a bit more of a shambles buy once again for the CTs. It looks like this comeback is really on now, as it looks like they're going to have to eco maybe 2 rounds. No, just this round. But they really should they really should be trying to go for that mid aggression. But instead they're going to be going for that A aggression. Straight through A main, you might get nothing, but they end up walking into a blender, being immediately destroyed, and just Wardy, most likely playing on the B site. He's just going to be ignored, and he's most likely wanting to save this AK once again.
I was going to say they might be playing a bit more of an intelligent round that time, sending Wardy over to anchor B and 4 players stacking A with those pistols, but instead, as you said, they are just going to rush straight through A main and out into the hands of the terrorists. All 4 of them dropping, leaving just Wardy on this B site to save. Will he be able to do it is the question. I think they're all the question they're all hoping will be answered with a yes at this point, as the T's are hunting. Savage already going to be on that site. Actually not seen him yet, and Wardy's going to find him from behind, choosing not to take the duel as he really, really does not want to.
Oh. He ends up dying anyway, which is a bit peculiar, but yep, it's just a bit strange. It would make sense that he doesn't want to be spotted because the bomb timer is now being it's more long. Bad English. The bomb timer is longer than it used to be, so he might just not want to be spotted at all, so they won't swarm in his position, but he ends up being picked up anyway. And this is going into the next full buy round for the T's and the CTs.
I'm actually going to see an AWP run out here on Squizzy. I think the first of the half of them, and he's going to put it into immediate use, picking up King with a wallbang headshot. Puffing going to find Jammy James in the meantime. Shorty making sure he can't do more than that, though. It's going to be a 3 versus 4 as we go further into the round here in Team Shorty's favor. The bomb going to be, well, still undecided at the moment, looking to favor A, I think, currently, which might be the smarter choice, as both CTs are going to be slightly more, one of the CTs are going to be slightly more isolated from the site, playing that truck position.
And it's a bit more interesting. They tried to do a lot of mid-aggression that round, and the CTs ended up benefiting from it, although they did get the refrag on the A site. But it looks like Shorty's going to end up getting the frag on Sophie, and the T's are working towards A site. A full rotate almost has come in, and it's now a 1v4 for 6CS. This was good play by the CTs, able to rotate, able to make sure the site's locked down, and unless 6CS does something of a miracle, he will most likely not be able to win this round, as the bomb is dropped and the CTs are swarming his position.
He is going to have to play some 6CS if they have any chance at all of taking it to 14-12. There are going to be 3 CTs alive with that bomb in their view, just waiting for him to try and make a play. Looks like he will actually be going for that play, going to flash himself out, looking to peek straight onto one of them. Won't find any on forklift. Going to have to push further into the site. Going to find Louis. Only 1 left on the site now, and that's going to be Wardy over in quad. 6CS has an inkling, sees the shadow, but can't make it a frag. Wardy going to take him down, giving match point to Team Shorty.
Yep, and that would most likely, in most situations, be very worrying, be very stressful kind of round for the last player, as he did end up getting that frag, but he only had 10 seconds left, so he either needed to go for a hunt or try and plant the bomb. But it ends up not being too bad for this round, as although it is match point, the T's have a lot of money accumulated from the last 5 rounds they've won, so it should be an alright circumstance, as Puffing gets the first frag on mid with an off as he gets boosted over, and that is a mid control for the T side, which could end up playing a big role later in the half. Or later in the round.
I mean, splitting the CT's focus, 2 on A, 2 on B, but they still need to keep control of that mid, as that has been their Achilles heel throughout the game so far. I think both teams, putting a lot of emphasis on those mid plays, trying to make something of that. We are going to see the T's going for a play mostly focused on B site here. 3 players coming in through halls. I think actually 1 sitting on the lurk in mid, and that is going to be puffing with that AWP.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to either try and get a flank or push into the A site as the T's are setting up for a B push. As Shorty's just going to peek out at King, and he ends up taking him down, and that is also the bomb. So Puffing could up catching off the rotate, but this looks very opportune for the T's as they are 4-1 up now, actually, as Wardy's the only one left. That's a very quick set of frags there for the T side. Very lucky, well, not lucky, very skillful that they managed to be able to pick off all those players and destroy that defense. And now it's just Wardy, who looks like he's going to have to save with 46 HP, 1v3, and this game's going to be elongated a little bit more.
It will be Hugh looking to make it 12-15, keeping themselves hanging in there just a little longer. They're going to have to win the next 3 rounds, though, if they want any chance at all at taking this map and progressing to what will be our semi-finals.
I think Puffing actually heard Wardy, yeah, of course he did, yeah. So it looks like Wardy's going to have a difficult time actually saving this one. Oh, but Puffing turns his back to him, and he might be able to actually save it off, which is even better for the CT side in the next round. It's actually really useful on mid. He ends up getting the second frag. Will he be able to be sprayed down through the wall by Savager? But it looks not. And that's a very beneficial outcome for the CTs from a 1v3 to a 1v1. And now the T side's economy is going to be down just a little bit more.
I mean, yeah, fortunately for the T side, able to buy up all of those guns again. And I mean, if they wouldn't have been able to do that, the aggression they showed would have been very out of place. But seeing as they can, that looked like it was a good choice. If they had found him, that would have done a lot to stop the CTs. As it happens, though, Jamie James is going to be playing in this round with the rest of them just choosing to go on pistols, which is smart, really. I mean, looking at the round difference right now, they have a couple of rounds to play with, and they probably just want to get a very strong buy in there to try and take it.
Yeah. Oh, King here kills Shorty, who's trying to play a sneaky role, but ends up not benefiting him, as King did spot him trying to push in, and that is the A side open to the T's, as it looks like they're going to just win a round here out, straight out, as the AWP is picked up by Louis, and it looks like he's going to try and save it. Yeah.
And really, the CTs do just need to keep this AWP going into the next round so that they can actually have one. I mean, their economy's still looking really, really hurt after it was actually reset in the, I think it was reset about 2 rounds ago by by Hugh, or last round at least.
Yeah. Yeah, because they won round and then they immediately lost another. It looks like a battle, almost like Nuke. It's very similar to how the old Nuke was, where most of the rounds were won by the T side, and then every time a CT side wins a round, they immediately lose the next and destroy their economy. So it's very reminiscent to old games. But Luis is going to be able to try and save this off. It's a 1v4, so he's just being penned in, and he gets wallbanged by Savager and ending up being taken down. Yeah.
Been able to find one, but sacrificing his position and his life for it.
Yeah, and it's ending up getting very, very close here. It looks like the Team.shorty are going to have to do a semi-buy, force buy, quasi-buy, not really a real buy. They only have pistols, a few people have armor and smoke, but if they make something of this round, it'll be exceptional. And they are all going mid. This is a very peculiar play by them. Let's see if it works off. Puffing ends up getting 2 off the bat. And Perception, Wardy gets a refrag, and then they've already taken the whole garage. I criticized this earlier. Let's see if they can actually make something of this position. Savager misses the frag with the off and B connector, and they end up pushing back into mid. So
they're going to be sandwiching them in, though, coming into mid from the other side, trapping Wardy in that corner. Wardy is going to play the part of the animal in this situation, though, taking Sophie's head off for that aggression. Shorty going to be pushing him from the back, not able to find anything with that P250 just yet, and it does look like the bomb will be going down for Hugh. 2 CTs left, but Wardy not looking like he actually wants to try for anything at this point.
Yeah, and it looks like they're just going to have to try and save it, as you just said, as one of them gets taken down, and Shorty is most likely just going to save this AKN armor, so he doesn't have to buy nearly as much next round. So it'll end up going to 14-15, which could bring an overtime or the end of the match. This is very tense. It's very surprising from a game like this. You expected from the first half that it would be over in like a few rounds of this next half, but it's been a real fight from the T's to get back into this game.
Indeed, it has been. I mean, you're saying really not what you're expecting from Cash at all, as a slightly CT-sided map. I mean, more so than a couple of others in the current pool. You really wouldn't expect to see both teams picking up. I think one picking up 12 and the other picking up 11 so far on their T half. As it's going to 30 rounds, we could see 12 picked up on both T sides and overtime having to come into play here.
Ooh, but it looks like 6 already stabbed puffing a teammate in the back. Looks like it's not going to be an easy round for Hugh, as they already lose a lot of health on one of their most strongest players.
I mean, just attempting to stop Puffing and getting more than the 40 bomb he is already at.
Yeah, that's insane. He's really been carrying them in the second half. I'm not sure how many frags he had on the T half, only 14 and 12, but yeah, he's going 27 and 5 on his T side, so obviously showing his true aggressive opping colors and AK colors in this next half.
Indeed, and we're just going to see the T's extending their advantage here as Sophie pushes onto that A site, taking out Jammy, James, Puffing, finding Wardy as well. Only Squizzy left here to stop it going into overtime, and he's going to have to ace clutch it. Tag down to 14 health in the first engagement. It's not looking great for him at this point, but he will find the second on the 6CS as that smoke pops. Going to be pushing up towards A site now. Only 2 of the T's there, and that is something he will definitely not be expecting. King playing through from CT at this point.
Yeah, but he's got to be definitely worried of this flank already coming from King. But he's in a good position for this, but he ends up being fragged by Puffing anyway, and that's going to be overtime for this match. Quite surprising, 12-30, 12-3 for both sides on the T side.
Indeed, it will be overtime being called. Puffing sat on 42 frags to 17 currently, going absolutely insane throughout the entirety of this match, especially on their T half.
Yep, and it's very interesting how they're going to try and play this T side now, because it seems like the teams have kind of figured out what each other are doing on each half, figure out where each other are playing. But now they've got the economy to really back up. As you can see, the CTs have a double off on this side. So we're going to have to see if the money difference actually helps out the CTs and allows them to get a bit more of an advantage on the CT side, rather than it just being heavily T dominated.
We will, and once again we'll see the T's spreading out, just trying to establish some sort of presence across the entire map. And Savage will assert that presence, picking up 2 kills on the B site, opening it up perfectly for their team as the bomb is already over towards that area. This should be a plant for them at least, and in a 3v3 situation, it is looking very, very good for the T's right now.
Yep, it looks like they've also got really good defensive positions. King's holding the CT in that cubby that no one really... Well, people do look at, but it's going to be Wordy pushing into checkers. Flash ends up picking up Savage, but the refrag from Puffing, and now it's Louise and King versus Jammy James. Louise ends up getting the frag, but they're both lit, Jammy and Louise. King ends up getting the frag. It's close, but King ends up holding it out, and he saves the op. So that's a very good round by him. In the end, 1v2, although it only lasted a few seconds.
I mean, all of Hugh are, sorry, just playing very, very well with each other. Obviously, Puffing there ready to get the refrag, and as he goes down, both players tag low enough for King, I think, to finish it off. And we're just going to see the same again from us here. 4 AKs and an AWP, trying to get some work done. Puffing actually going to start the round off with a quick tag onto Wardy, taking him down to 47 health and not losing anything in the process. Dangerous game to play with an AWP, but if you have the skill, it can be very, very beneficial.
Yeah, and they've given away the mid. CTs have given away the mid as Wardy got tagged, so this is very beneficial for the Ts. They can make a big plays out of this, but what this does cause is that it looks like the Ts are setting up for A, as Louise picks up one from checkers, and then King picks up Louise in a refrag, but Puffing gets the flank on Wardy, and it looks like this is going to be an easy A push for the Ts, as King has the highway position, and he doesn't realize there's one more player on the site. Sorry, that was just me getting confused there. He didn't realize there was another player on the site, but it doesn't matter anyway because he's going to get the frag, and Shorty is the last one alive in the site. Going to have to save that up. So very hectic round, very difficult for me to really talk about in this fast manner.
I mean, yeah, you would not expect overtime to be that much of an issue. Economy-wise, I think it is MR 516k, but Shorty, I think, investing in an AWP both rounds so far. Losing it in one of them, he's going to have to be saving on 2,200.
And you see a weird play out of the T's actually right now is that they're actually staying on the site for a prolonged amount of time, even though it's 1v3. And they have a lot of money, so you'd assume with the extended amount of money, they try and go for the hunt, try and make sure that CTs are really economy broken, which can be really beneficial in MR5 for the T side.
I think realistically that might just be them not wanting to give away anything too easily, wanting to just play it safe, grind out the remaining rounds, and try and pick up this half in a big way. And it looks like they're already well on their way to doing that. 2 out of 5 rounds won already, and a huge economical advantage in their hands. If they win this one, I think we will see Team.shorty having to go for something of a force buy.
Yeah, and that could end up ruining the rest of the half for the CT side, as if they lose this round, they will have no money, as you said, and that will most likely just end this MR5 half, as they will have the half eco, half force buy for the rest of the rounds.
I mean, we see this starting already with Puffing going for a monster 3 frag, Sophie picking up Louis to find the 4th, leaving just Shorty there in CT with an AWP once again, and it looks like he might have to follow his own lead from last round and just save it once more to give himself something into the next round. As upsetting as it is, sometimes just giving them the bomb site and the plant might be the better option.
Yeah, and this is very troubling, because they seem to keep pushing towards the A site every round of T's, and the CTs just aren't able to hold it. So Shorty is often left so far in the last 2 rounds on his own, and he's not being able to make an impact in the match. It's like he's stuck alone, isolated on the B site. He has nothing to do, and it ends up just coming like this, where he might be more helpful on the A site in some of these scenarios with the op, but once again, it's the CTs are going to lose this round, and most likely going to have to force, which would be detrimental to their try for this next round.
That is the problem though, because I mean, as much as you might want to see Shorty making some kind of an impact on that A site, you know the way CS is, and you know that Murphy's Law will come into effect, and as soon as he goes onto that A site, we will see a full T rush onto B.
Yeah, it's a bit of a troubling problem with the CT side, especially in this scenario, but they have to change something about what they're doing on the A site, because they lose it almost every single round, no matter what's going on. So it's going to be a... Sorry.
I think one thing I'd like to see is a stronger utilization of their tactical grenades there. Just try and stay them off a little bit longer with maybe some Molotovs and some smokes, but that'll get harder and harder to do as the half progresses. Their economy getting very, very tight right now. And actually, this time it looks like we're going to see the T's going towards that B site. Puffing coming in with a quick frag on Shorty. King securing that flank by taking out Jammy James. Sophie actually going to push onto the A site regardless. No interest there, just a free kill for that player.
Yeah, it seems like the T's now have the confidence just to be able to go into both sides, get the frags, not be too worried about what they're doing, because they already have such an advantage. And yeah, it just allows them to kind of push into both sides. But Viperio gets the... Oh, sorry, it's Squeezy gets a frag on Sophie, which was actually quite a nice flick, as far as I can tell. And it looks like they're going to have to try and save these weapons again for the last round, which is detrimental. Like you were just saying, Murphy's Law comes into rule. They go B site, the one round where they try and play for retake on that B site, or so it looked.
Is he going to be there trying to see if he can find anything in the last few moments? Not going to be able to take out King, who only taking half health off of him. Although it does look good for the CTs as they will manage to save these guns. Nothing's still on the hunt, just going to be looking in the wrong place.
Yep, and this is kind of reminiscent. I keep using that word, but reminiscent of the last 2 halves, where again T's get almost every single round, and let's see if Team.shorty will be able to bounce back from this, because if they lose this next round, they will have to win every single round in the next overtime to take it to a second overtime, which would be it's a very difficult task, no matter how hard you try and like how T-side game for some reason seems to be on his half.
Team.shorty trying to take something back with Shorty, the man himself, finding Sophie very early in the round. Puffing, trying to get that 50 bomb. And I think succeeding with a kill onto Wardy. They're pushing him for more. Shorty going to find him as well on 12 health only. Going to make it work. And that's going to be the advantage in the CT hands for the first time in this overtime, actually.
Yeah, let's see if the last few remaining T's can do something exceptional, because no one's really holding A main. Well, now Squeezy's holding it, but it looks like they're trying to make some sort of play there. But Louis ends up getting the frag on King on mid, and now it becomes a 2v4, even more difficult. Although Shorty and Louis are both on low HP, so this is possible for the last remaining Ts.
Indeed, it will be, though. Shorty playing that lurk position, going to pick up 6CS, leaving just Savage to try and do something. Savage, I think, going to try and save that ult, but ultimately unable to. Team Shorty finding at least one round in that 5-round half.
Yep, and nothing hits the 50 bomb. That's insane. It looks like a complete carry, but I think overall the team play on that team has been quite good so far in this this entire game. So it's just a bit surprising to see someone availing overall, although his aim has been exceptional. But we'll have to see if in this half they're able to close it out. It seems like it, but of course we can't count them off, as that first half was ending up as a 12-3 result, and this one is ending up as a 4-1.
I mean, despite the money on both, we will just see a quick B rush coming out here. 3 P90s picked up from the T side. Louis going to be holding that flank, and that may end up being important, as we have seen an aggressive CT side so far. Although, actually, we'll see the CTs guess right, and I think place 3 players on that B site this round.
Yep, 3 players towards the area, one on, nothing's actually on mid, but it looks like they are set up perfectly to try and close up this round, but the T's get the frag as Shorty and Perception, which isn't his actual name, Jammy James, end up getting the frags into the site, and the T's end up just breaking the CT defense, as now it's just puffing the last player left, stuck in the smoke. Will he be able to make it out with that off? That could be very relevant in the next few rounds.
James actually very close to him. Almost almost looking like he was about to go for that knife, but Puffing going to turn around, picking up a beautiful no-scope onto him to keep himself alive. I think just trying to hold the T's into this site and make them lose as many lives as possible. Louis going to say no to that, though, taking his head off as the response. And that's going to be awful for the CTs there. I mean, you saw them play completely correctly that round. I think 3 players over towards that B site, 1 in vents, and Puffing holding mid, but the T's just going to run straight through, wrecking everybody with headshots. Yeah, and there's no real counter to that, is there?
No. Surprising, especially with such a, as you said, such a good layout for it. But it looks like the T's are going to be putting a lot of emphasis on A main and mid as Perception is boosted up. Well, Jammy James, I keep getting that mixed up. But there is one player at Sugar Cube slowly scoping Wooly, and he sees Jammy James, Savager, ends up winning the fight and taking mid control. Okay.
Awfully sorry for the breaking casting there. Producer Tom sending us a couple of messages.
Yeah, I was a bit confused about that. I thought I'd like muted myself or something.
For anybody in full stream on the Twitch, I think there is going to be a raffle going on very soon. You might want to check that out, but we will be getting back into the game. 2 players left alive on this T side here. Team Shorty going to be Bordy and Shorty himself against 3 CTs, looking to make some of that mid presence work for them. Actually heading over towards that B site now. Shorty going to be the first to push through. Only 1 player there in King, and if they can find him, this could be a start to a very nice comeback into the round.
As you've seen, all the CTs have rotated now. I don't think the T's have moved in quick enough. It's now it's 1v3. Wardy ends up getting the frag on King, but loses it to Sophie, because when they heard the vents being popped, all of them rotated, and that was very easy for them to just kind of get a 3-on-2 scenario, and the T's didn't move fast enough. So that's another round for QS.
I think that's actually going to put it on match point here.
Yep.
20 rounds to Hugh's last, only 17 to Shorty. They need to win 3 in a row now to pull it back into a second overtime. That's going to get harder and harder as we see Hughes still there with a hell of an economy, and Orph on Savage and the rest of them just set up ready.
And they're playing very aggressive towards the B site. Louis is immediately getting fragged by King and Checkers, and he's trying to make it away without being fragged. But he ends up being taken down by Jammy James. There's a lot of pressure on mid as Puffing loses out to Squizzy, and it looks like they're going to. The CTs are rotating straight towards the B site, but the T's haven't pushed on yet, as they're just setting up. Vordy's being boosted up back into the vents on mid, and it looks like they're going to try spread back out towards A, although it looked like a definite B push.
I mean, Jammy James going to keep that pressure on B, picking up 6CS, actually prompting the rotate from Sophie, who had thought better of sitting close to B. Just awful timing there for Sophie, really falling back towards that B site as the T's decide to go towards A, and I think that is mostly down to Jammy James.
Yep, Jammy James ends up being taken out by the guy in person in heaven, but he allowed for a fake to get the Team Shorty to the A site, which is now opened up for them, and it's a 1v3, which Savager's going to have to fight for his life to try and win.
I mean, he can't give up at this point. They lose this round, they lose the game, and oh no, sorry, that's the wrong team.
Yeah.
I am not quite on it today. I'm awfully sorry. That was Team Shorty playing for it, and they do manage to take it, leaving 2 rounds in the game.
Yep, and this is a very good play out of Jammy James there. Even though it was timing, it does end up forcing the CTs to stay on B site, and that opens up for the his mates to try and take the A site, and they end up winning the round. So
We're going to see a bit of a weaker bike coming out from the CTs here. Puffing left only on that 5-7. But he's going to find a quick 2 in mid.
gets the third.
Wizzy not able to do anything with that AK. Just running and gunning, not going to be accurate enough. So, as you said, Puffing will be getting that 3rd kill. And now it's a 3 versus 1 for the CTs. Wardy picking up a quick 2, dropping it into a 2 versus 1. Only 1 there on that A site, though, in Puffing. And he's got a lot to do.
And he ends up being taken down, and that's a game.
And this time that will be GG's being called, as it is the CTs winning it out. Hugh's going to take that first map, pushing them through to the semi-finals.
Yep, and that was exceptional play from Puffing on that last round. I think he only had 5-7 armor, 5-7 in armor, and he ends up taking up 3 in the mid position, ending up basically securing the round for the CTs. So that was exceptional play from him throughout this entire match, and he definitely, in my opinion, deserves the MVP of this match.
I mean, Puffing sat there with 56 kills, so I think 25, more than a 2 KD. Absolutely brilliant play from him, and I'd say actually at points single-handedly pulling them through.
Yep, so that was a very entertaining game to watch, very back and forth throughout the rounds. So, yep, it was a very fun game to cast and watch.